The story opens quietly, almost deceptively calm, with a sense of warmth that feels earned rather than forced. Dr. Malcolm Crowe and his wife Anna are sharing an intimate evening at home, savoring a rare moment of peace together. The occasion is meaningful. Malcolm has just been honored for his work as a child psychologist, an acknowledgement of years spent listening to frightened voices, untangling trauma, and guiding troubled children through invisible storms. Families across Philadelphia trust him because he never talks down to his patients. He kneels to their level, listens patiently, and treats fear as something worthy of respect. That night, Anna looks at him with pride, convinced she's married to a man who truly makes a difference. For a moment, it feels like nothing could intrude on this happiness. But the intrusion comes suddenly. A sharp noise breaks the quiet. Glass lies scattered across the bedroom floor, the window shattered, the room disturbed. Panic replaces comfort as they realize someone has broken in. Before Malcolm can react, a man emerges from the shadows. He is thin, pale, trembling with rage and despair. His name is Vincent Gray, and his presence carries the weight of unfinished history. Years ago, Vincent was one of Malcolm's patients, a deeply disturbed child plagued by visions and terror he couldn't explain. Back then, Malcolm believed Vincent's problems were rooted in family trauma, a diagnosis that felt safe, logical, and ultimately wrong. Vincent never recovered. Now he stands before the man he believes failed him, holding on to years of resentment and pain. Vincent's voice cracks as he speaks, his anger barely containing something far more fragile beneath it. He accuses Malcolm of abandoning him, of misreading his suffering, of leaving him alone with horrors that never stopped. Malcolm tries to calm him, speaking gently, the same way he once spoke to the frightened child Vincent used to be. But the years of damage cannot be undone in a single conversation. Vincent pulls out a gun. The moment stretches, heavy and irreversible. A shot rings out. Vincent, overcome, then turns the gun on himself. In a matter of seconds, celebration turns to tragedy. Months pass, though time feels strange from this point onward. Malcolm appears to recover physically, yet something about him seems altered. He moves through his days with a quiet urgency, haunted by Vincent's final words. He replays the past again and again, recognizing the arrogance of certainty, the danger of assuming he understood what he never truly saw. Determined not to repeat that failure, Malcolm throws himself back into his work with renewed focus. This time, he promises himself, he will listen differently. That promise leads him to a new patient, a young boy named Seir. Cole is withdrawn, anxious, and burdened by fears he cannot articulate. His life mirrors Vincent's in unsettling ways. His parents have separated, his home feels tense, and his behavior marks him as an outsider. Malcolm senses a familiar pattern, but refuses to jump to conclusions. Instead, he observes. One afternoon, he waits outside Cole's house, watching as the boy bolts toward a nearby church as if seeking refuge. Malcolm follows, careful not to startle him. Inside the church, Cole mutters a phrase in Latin while playing alone. Malcolm notices a wound on the boy's hand, one that looks suspiciously like it came from more than a simple accident. The words Cole repeats linger in Malcolm's mind long after they part. Later that night, alone in his basement workspace, Malcolm searches through old texts and translations. He discovers the phrase is a plea pulled from Scripture, a cry from deep despair asking God for mercy. The realization unsettles him. Cole isn't just acting out, he's expressing something profound, something desperate. Malcolm meets Cole's mother, Lynn, a woman stretched thin by worry and exhaustion. She loves her son fiercely, but doesn't understand him. At school, Cole is labeled strange. His drawings disturb teachers, especially one depicting a violent death. When Lynn is called in to see it, she breaks down, terrified of what it might mean. Cole, seeing her pain, stops drawing altogether, choosing silence over honesty. When Malcolm tries to reassure him, Cole looks at him with a sadness far beyond his years and says plainly that Malcolm can't help him. The words sting more than Malcolm expects. The strain isn't limited to work. Malcolm's marriage is quietly unraveling. He arrives late to his anniversary dinner with Anna, offering explanations that feel inadequate even as he speaks them. Anna doesn't argue, she simply pays the bill and leaves, her disappointment louder than anger. At home, they exist in the same space without truly connecting. Malcolm senses the distance but doesn't know how to cross it. Meanwhile, strange events surround Cole. His house seems to change on its own, drawers opening, doors shifting. Lynn notices odd reflections in photographs, flashes of light that don't belong. At school, Cole unnerves a history teacher by describing violent executions that supposedly took place in their building, details he has no way of knowing. When he mocks the teacher's hidden stutter, it crosses a line, and Cole is sent to the counselor's office. Malcolm is called in, once again stepping between Cole and a world that doesn't know what to do with him. Late one night, Malcolm stumbles upon an old video of his wedding. He watches Anna's face, glowing with love, and feels a sharp ache. He goes looking for her, only to discover medication that suggests she's struggling deeply. He doesn't confront her. Instead, he retreats, carrying the guilt quietly. Cole's fear escalates during a birthday party when he hears whispers leading him to a closet. Locked inside by other children, he panics as he senses something else in the darkness. He collapses and is rushed to the hospital, his body covered in unexplained bruises. Lynn finally understands that her son isn't just odd or sensitive, he's suffering. Malcolm sits beside Cole's bed, and the boy asks him a simple question that cuts deep. Why does Malcolm seem so sad? In response, Malcolm tells a story about a doctor who once failed a child and has been trying to forgive himself ever since. Cole recognizes himself in the story, and for the first time, trusts Malcolm enough to reveal the truth. Cole explains that he sees dead people, not vaguely, not metaphorically, but clearly. They walk, talk, and carry the wounds that killed them. Worst of all, many don't realize they're dead. Malcolm listens, torn between professional skepticism and something he can't quite dismiss. He tries to rationalize it, to see it as a symptom, but the fear in Cole's eyes feels too real. The proof comes slowly, through moments Malcolm can't explain away. Old recordings reveal voices that shouldn't exist. Clues align in ways that unsettle him. When Malcolm finally encourages Cole to listen to the spirits instead of hiding, everything changes. The ghosts aren't there to hurt him, they're there because they need help. One spirit, a young girl named Kira, leads them to uncover a terrible truth about her death. Evidence hidden in her room exposes her mother's abuse, saving another child and giving Kira peace. From that point on, Cole's fear loosens its grip. He begins to live again, to laugh, to stand on stage during a school play with confidence he never had before. Malcolm watches proudly, believing he's finally done something right. Before they part, Cole gives Malcolm advice of his own. He suggests Malcolm speak to Anna while she sleeps, believing that love doesn't require being heard to be felt. That night, Malcolm follows the advice. As Anna murmurs in her sleep, Malcolm notices his wedding ring missing. The realization hits him all at once. The distance, the silence, the way no one ever truly acknowledged him except Cole. Memory floods back. The gunshot, the blood, the truth he never allowed himself to see. Malcolm understands now that he never survived that night. He's been moving through the world unaware, clinging to unfinished business, just like the spirits Cole described. He sees Anna's grief clearly for the first time, her loneliness, her inability to let go. With understanding comes peace. Malcolm whispers his love, his goodbye, and finally lets go. As he fades, the world continues, quieter but complete. The story closes not with fear, but with acceptance, reminding us that sometimes the hardest truths are the ones we refuse to see, even when they've been with us all along.